money, society, and the economy of Okukolida Echida Echonka, literally meaning working only for the stomach and the pocket. The dairy farmers delegation from Zimbabwe and Gomba told the gathering of how some of them sell 800 liters of milk per day, another one 1,500 liters per day, others 300 to 400 liters per day. At a price of 800 shillings per litre, the one of 800 litres per day would earn 233 million per year. Even if the costs were 40%, they would take away 93 million from the gross earnings, and that would leave a net income of 140 million shillings. That is a net monthly income of about 12 million shillings. However, these families have coffee and goats investments that enable them to get themselves out of poverty. This transformation has happened in the whole capital corridor of southern Uganda, south of the Nile, and this includes districts of Isingiro, Ntungamo, Barara, Shema, Bushenyi, Chiruhura, Kazo, Liantonde, part of the Rakai, Chegegwa, Kabarole, Kamwenge, Chenjojo, Chiboga, Nakaseke, Masindi, Nakasongola, and Chiriandongo. These cattle farmers have boosted milk production from 200 million litres in 1986 to now 5.3 billion litres. They have not only saved Uganda from the hemorrhage of the US dollar for importing dairy, but also products from outside, but also earning 264 million per year in export earnings. Now, the Uganda police has given an account to the increasing spat of crime, waved flying kick attack and rob, and calls the public not to panic and enhance personal vigilance. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga, while speaking to the media, reiterated on the increasing rate of unemployment and the main catalyst to this increasing rate of crime in Kampala metropolitan. We have more.
Police and security agencies have enhanced cracking down on criminal gangs that have been terrorizing the city and environs. At least 20 have been arrested as police and security agencies continue tracking the criminals. Of recent, the public was awash with videos of criminals attacking people with new techniques of flying kick, attack and rob, which has brought panic among the public.
In which disturbing images of violent attacks by organized criminal gangs on foot and motorcycles raised concerns from the public, most of whom expressed fear after the criminal gangs were seen hitting people on the streets, using flying kicks to attack and rob.
The police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media during a weekly press briefing that the hunt is on.
We managed to arrest several individuals behind these violent attacks, behind the new wave of flying kick attack and grab incidents. And also we noticed that all these attacks are motivated by theft and robbery.
Uganda police has given account to some of these videos and culprits arrested.
In the operations we carried out, which were intelligence-led, we managed to identify the suspects from their areas of residence, and we managed to recover items that include 4 mobile phones, 1 DVD player, a pair of army shoes, 2 sharpened pangas, iron bars, and also claw bars, an army camouflage hat, 1 pair of punching gloves.
On the Benikiwanka incident, police arrested 2 suspects by reviewing the retrieved CCTV footage.
We have Tagaba Sharif, alias Musoga, Kwesiga Sulaiman, and Senfuka Zawad. These are suspects who spend most of their time in Nachivubo Channel. And if you notice, they are a group of very young adults.
Banks are urged to enhance security of their premises and guide customers on the safe transportation of cash to save them from unscrupulous bystanders around banks.
So banks also need really to expand, carry out expansive vigilance around their banks and keep close watch on suspected criminals who target their clients.
The operations to crack down criminal gangs are spearheaded by Police Directorate of Crime Intelligence through Flying Squad, JET, among others. Preliminary investigations imply that the young adults are inspired by heist movies.
Who are basically inspired by heist videos that they keep watching in some of these movies. And amongst those we've arrested, we've noticed that these are unemployed individuals, youth that are unemployed, and they draw inspirations from these kinds of violent attacks, which they use as a means of survival.
Security believes some penalties could be lenient because many of the arrested criminals are former prisoners and convicts. Police is tracking areas like gyms and other areas where the gangs train.
We must all come together and protect each other. So as the police, we are committed to protecting our communities from any form of violence. We've increased our local engagements with the local leaders, the communities. We've disrupted the training and recruitment of new gang members before they attempt to enter the streets, and we've carried out raids on a number of criminal hubs.
Security has raised the flag on the increased violent obstruction of officers doing lawful duties, which has resulted in loss of lives on different occasions. Abdul Nasser Lubama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Residents of Kawaala want increased security deployment within their area to address the threat posed by suspected criminals who exploit dark sports to attack residents. The criminals in this area employ various tools such as pavers, iron bars, weighing scale stones and physical force to incapacitate and rob their victims. UBC TV visited Kawaala to investigate the situation.
Motorcycles are the most frequently used means of transport in Kampala due to their efficiency. While this is beneficial for business, motorcycles are also being utilized for criminal activities, sometimes resulting in riders becoming victims themselves.
So mukufuna wali obuzukuwa nagwa mu bugali mu bobugali bali babbi bakasukayo bukasusi bugali nembugwamu mukubugwamu ekyantasa nti sali ku misinde by the way ne kintu ky'emisinde kintu kikulu nnyo.
We ventured to the outskirts of Kampala to investigate how border riders operate amidst reports of criminality.
N'okutambula okudda wano ku kamera ne ku ttawo ly'e Kawaala we wali abavubuka ababeera ababiri. Omu abeera ku mukono oguva e Busega, omulala abeera ku mukono guno oguva ewa Bujingo. Basalira kati bw'agera ng'abantu bakendedde ng'abuukayo abaakuteka papers mu ngalo ebiseera ebisinga kabeera ka laawundi. Kati bw'abuukayo mu kalitunsi mu kiti kya kalitunsi wabadde yeewogomi ng'akuba lumu mu feesi ng'ogwa ng'akwabya ennyindo maaso ng'akugyamu buli ky'olina kyonna.
Riders acknowledge the presence of masqueraders committing crimes.
Kisoboka sebo kubanga nawe abamu abayayo bakusazeeko nga bakulaga nnako bazirina bagala kuyisaamu kati sebo nawe batosobola kuvaayo n'ogamba nti wono oba tumulabye.
This situation has prompted riders to revise their modus operandi, including vetting passengers and riding more courteously.
Tuyinza okuba nga tuli badriver nga mukaaga. Mu driver nga mukaaga nayita ku boda esooka ne muyita omutwalako n'agigaana. Nayita ku yokubiri okusatu era najja n'asongamu n'agamba gwe jangu ontwale. Nange nfunamu okutya ng'omuntu. Lwaki oyisenze? Kwera kyali kintuuseeko.
Egy'okuneesembereza bano olwayinza kugamba mpisa wano
tujja kuwetera wali obwo bwakola mu bwato rusi kalifoma ajina ajina mu ngaro ate sikuwa gapu yagamba tujja wetera wanu okitegeera omwe ayinza kozesa chance
kuno saidi yebibaati yebeera mbi ntambula mbaza era mvuga mbaza mbeera mu saidi mira n'okwetegereza eno bwe ndaba abantu benkugambya bali mu byambalo ebyo kuba bakozesa black boda yange sigivuga nga nzirawa mbeera kumpi ku kkubo makati nga wentambulira bwe mpita moyo area nga nsooka nzira ebbali w'ebiki w'ebibaati.
Residents residing in the Kawaala suburb along the northern bypass lament gang activities and exhibited scars resulting from isolated attacks while on their way.
Bamukuba pavers.
Tetulina security kyekisooka ate batwerabira dda balinga batuvaako eneringa island.
I am standing at one of the hotspots within Kawaala. Residents say that criminals use this area to plan and execute their missions, with the major target being road users as well as congregants from the Pastor Rujingo Church.
Akuyingiza buyingiza kimuli abanga kaloli. Olukuyingiza ekimuli. Ovaayo gwomanyi.
Singa siba muno baba bajjabuze era batambula butambuzi. Okusooka bibaali balina omuze nga bajja ne beekweka mu bimuli muno ne bakwata abantu ne bababba. Akati olw'okuba nti guno gwe mulimu gwaffe ogw'ebimuli twagezaako okubalwanyisa okulaba nti tubagoba mu bimuli muno olw'okuba nti abantu baali bajja kwekwasa nti ebimuli z'empuku zaabwe.
But man, now how can someone like hide in this place? What is the possibility?
Ivan, it's very possible because it's a matter of jumping, then keeping low, and where possible, one can even take this and hide into the leaves or perhaps the flowers.
Ate bwe bakuba obutayimbwa oba pavers nga babuka nga baba ku mukono guno oguva ebwayise ku ssatu nga babuka nga badda ku guli ogw'ebusega n'eri kyekimu n'eri ku guno omukono oguva ebusega Kawaala.
Despite CCTV camera surveillance covering most areas, residents allege that they have not been helpful, contrary to the police perspective.
Tetumanyi yo gavumenti emanyi kyenye ekikolerera ku kyababbi akyo naye nga amagezi gaatwesiba.
The cameras, we use them for investigations. That's where we begin from. The moment we see a crime happening in a particular place, using a camera, we begin our investigations from there. So it has been very, very helpful.
Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango states that vegetation blocking the existing cameras shall be cleared.
We are supposed to go to cases here, get permission to cut those trees down. So if they are there, we are going to alert them to again move around and get the permission to go and cut those trees.
Police have assured the public of increased presence through the deployment of patrols and heightened personnel.
As I speak now, the battalion commanders along that stretch are right now meeting to map out ways on how to police the area and see that criminality in that area is brought down.
You need some kind of skill, because if you're not skilled, man, you have to...
Tony Kent Chaze, Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Over 400 pilgrims from across the country have arrived at the Namugongo Catholic site to commemorate the 3rd June Martyrs' Day. Among these is one Kenyan national, Egatu Joseph, who said it's his first time to trek to Namugongo. They hope that whatever they pray for will be answered through the martyrs who died for their faith.
Preparations for the forthcoming 3rd June Martyrs' Day are still underway at the Namugongo Catholic site. Over 400 pilgrims from across the country, like Tororo, Kampala, Sorot, among others, have concluded pilgrimage to Namugongo Catholic site.
So I started from Kabale up to Luala, then I go to Diocese Soroti. I moved for 14 days on the way.
A very good distance from Malaba, from Tororo, from Tororo to Bugiri. Now reaching past Bugiri, like I was not unwell, I felt unwell.
According to Sesemukova Mugoda, the head registering committee at the site, a large number of pilgrims are from Mbara district.
We have received 454. The biggest number are people from Mbarara district, and from Kampala we have 126. However, very many people are coming, and as they come here we register them. We have only received one Kenyan, but he says there are other members coming.
Pilgrims whom it's their first time to come to Namugongo, including a Kenyan national, Titus Odengo, say they have expectations in enhancing their faith.
So as a youth, like I thought it's good to practice what other people have been practicing all these years. So I wanted to feel the experience.
So I come here for praying. I see how the people of Namugongo, those who died in Namugongo, suffered. So I also to come to pray.
However, those who have been at Namugongo for more than once are indebted in the pilgrimage.
Last time when I came here, I prayed to God to give me a husband. And when I went back, God gave me a husband who married me. I've come back to thank him. Secondly, to thank him for the gift of my daughter.
Gwange gwenzizeno omulundu gwokuna guno nina kyenfunyemu kusaba kwange. Nfunyemu enamba y'eryato, nfunyemu eryato, nfunyemu buli kimu kiri bulwi.
Meanwhile, at Namugongo Anglican Matters site, preparations are also still ongoing. At the site, they are setting up a public address system and cleaning up the place. Those in charge of health are examining traders who will be selling food, eats, and various merchandise. Dr. Jamia Nankabira, the in-charge health in Kira municipality, explained reasons for conducting this exercise.
Sensitization, we are doing it from today up to Saturday, and it has to be continuous. All the workers, maybe now you can come in to prepare food. All those workers are supposed to be medically examined.
Some of the traders who underwent the medical checkup talked to UBC TV.
Because when you get checked up, you prove to be either you have any disease or you don't have. Just because we are going to serve so many people, that is why we have to do that medical checkup.
It's a good idea. They test for typhoid, skin disease, pressure, such things.
Enoch Rukundo is the administrator at the Anglican Matters site.
Different groups are traveling in the different parts of Uganda. We have seen people leaving Nebi, people leaving Lango. Now we have a team from Lango which has already reached here, camping, and we believe that people from the west are also about to reach. So we believe by Wednesday this week, we shall have the different groups come and be able to have an experience of this.
Rebecca Natongo, Deborah Namamunde, UBC News.
Around 450 Kenyan pilgrims have left Busia border for Namugongo Martyrs Shrine. They are led by the Right Reverend Father Mudunga Patrick.
Another group of pilgrims from Kenya have reached the border town of Busia. They are led by Father Mudunga, who told UBC that they started the journey to Namugongo on 1st May 2024 from different parts of Malindi, Bungoma, Chitale, Kakamega, all in Kenya. From Kenya to Busia so far, they have walked 700 kilometers up to Busia border.
Where some of these pilgrims come, distances will differ, but the farthest is Malindi, which up to this place they have covered over 700 kilometers from Malindi to Busia, where we are at the moment.
And this is their 15th year going to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine. Among these pilgrims is 82-year-old Mama Leticia Modebies, a retired teacher, the oldest pilgrim, and Maureen Wandege, 10 years, the youngest of all.
I'm going this journey for prayers, so I am very happy to God, and I thank him because he had chosen me to do that work.
We have started the journey from Champini Parish, and we are heading to Namugongo, where Catholics that our faith that the things that we are hoping in our lives will come true.
Father says that the significance of going to Namugongo is that they get a lot of blessings for themselves, their families and their country Kenya.
Of big benefit, because this is a special time that Christians set aside to focus their mind on prayer. So it's literally a spiritual exercise. We have left everything else, our homes, our responsibilities, our families, to focus on prayer in memory.
Among the challenges include shortage of food, rain and coldness on the way, but they still believe to reach successfully, and they join the rest of the believers at Namugongo Mater's shrine. Abiona Francisco and Sando Martin, UBC News.
The East Rwenzori Diocese, for the 15 years it's been in existence, has grown, now having 9 archdeaconries. The diocese is among the Midwestern cluster of 6 dioceses organizing Namugongo Martyrs' Day at Namugongo Anglican site. Headed by Bishop George Turiasingura as part of the organizing diocese, over 50 members will be part of the mass choir that will sing on Martyrs' Day.
Preparations target 3rd June at Namugongo Anglican Matters site is spearheaded by the Midwestern cluster dioceses that include Rwenzori Diocese, Bunyoro Kitala, West Rwenzori, East Rwenzori, South Rwenzori, and Masindi Kitala Diocese. But our focus today will be at the East Rwenzori Diocese. The East Rwenzori Diocese, located in Kamwenge district in the Eastern region, is among the 37 dioceses that make up Church of Uganda. The diocese was carved from its mother diocese, Rwenzori Diocese, in 2009. Its first bishop, Right Reverend Edward Bamchwanila, was ordained on August 9th, 2009 at St. Stephen's Cathedral in Kamwenge district. Bishop Edward Kamchwanila administered the diocese for 9 years, and after reaching his retirement age, he was later succeeded by Right Reverend George Turiasingura on January 7, 2018. 15 years later, the East Rwenzori Diocese, that started with 32 parishes, it's now composed of 52 parishes.
As in terms of the growth, spirituality, infrastructure development, the diocese is growing, it has grown. By the time we started, the diocese had almost 32 parishes, 4 archdeaconries. As I talk, we have 9 archdeaconries, and we expect more next year. And out to when we started, we were almost 32 parishes, but now it has grown to 52 parishes.
The diocese has ensured its lay leaders and clergy cooperate.
So there is some growth, even in terms of infrastructure. Many houses have been built for the clergy, the lay leaders, the churches, good and modern churches have been put in place. And also, when we started, we had only 1 car for the bishop that we started with, which was for the archdeaconry. But now as we talk, all archdeacons have cars. So the diocese has grown, and we thank God for the fire has brought us.
The diocese has also brought youth on board.
Definitely we have the department for the youth, which is headed by a clergy, which is called the Diocesan Youth Coordinator. And every year we have the Diocesan Youth Conference. Like last year, we held a Diocesan Youth Conference, which brought up together more than 2,000 youth. And many of them accepted Christ as their personal Savior. And these are the foundation, because at the church, when you have the youth, we know the church is strong.
As part of the 6 dioceses under the Midwest cluster, organizing Namugongo Matters Day at the Anglican Matters site, Bishop Turiasingura has a tip.
And I would like to thank God for my Christians who have participated fully. Not only my Christians, but all the people from Kamwenge and Uganda have participated fully. We have some women who have coming for the women conference, and also we have the mass choir. 50 members from my diocese are part of the mass choir, and they are also coming. and many people will be coming as pilgrims to come and witness what will be taking place on Saturday.
Deborah Namamonde, Tanaba Kenneth, UBC News.
Sigikira mulimo gwenkola gukanikira babakasitoma bupawasobuni kimba n'obwire obwokutwala sente isomero ati nkyo amukolesa enkola ya MTN mobile money ni migasita 1065 star 8 nteekamu kodi namba y'omwana genda sente ninsasola ku lumi ntaino kuteribanizwa koni katunga esimu kuruga mu MTN bantereire kubantereire okubanza ntakiikirize nkaba amanyire bali bafere hanyuma nagenda nakakuza MTN yao nagamba ntungire simu eno kuluga mu MTN kyamazima okuba nkabanta amanyire nti aliyo promotion hanyuma madam akola MTN yangambira kyamazima kubasima muno mwebale muno akasente kabaire kenja kusasula school fees tamwe kuija bakasasuire akandi nja kasasulira mu bagenzi baye abatabandi mwebale muno.
Together we're unstoppable. Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow with subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. Now, on more news this evening, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Board of Directors are on an up-country tour to assess UBC installation sites. The board noted the need to recover UBC land, which has largely been encroached upon. Saddam Kabale does report.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation Board of Directors and management team has visited all UBC installations across the country to assess their functionality. The visit started with water sites in Masaka City, Lyantonde and Mwizi, where UBC land has largely been encroached upon.
The land that we have visited, there are 3 key elements that we are looking at. We must secure all the land that belongs to UBC as per the vesting order. We want to make sure that if there are any encroachers, then they should be evicted legally. And third is to look at the commercial viability of these pieces of land as we grow the sector in broadcasting.
UBC Managing Director Winston Agaba said this verification will enable the institution harmonize all its property.
As a board and management, together with our Minister of ICT and National Guidance and the government at large, is to say, what can we do with the big chunks of land that UBC owns to leverage? Because the equity is quite high, and we are very optimistic that a lot of development can be done on some of the pieces of land that are into the commercial viable areas. So that is the whole essence of this trip.
Saddam Kabale, UBC News.
Forum for Democratic Change Vice Chairperson Robert Centenary has declared the party's support for the ongoing no confidence motion against parliamentary commissioners. Speaking at a press conference, Centenary emphasized that this motion will save taxpayers' money and urged those backing it not to back off.
Last week, members of parliament led by Remiaga Member of Parliament Thedros Chikubo started collecting signatures to withdraw confidence in parliamentary commissioners, accusing them of illegally distributing hundreds of millions among themselves.
It is our duty and responsibility as members of parliament to restore trust and confidence of the public in the integrity of parliament.
FDSAS also called for the dismissal of these commissioners for embezzling taxpayers' money.
Isi oyo yenna akozesa bubi esente z'omuwi w'omusolo tabeera mukwano gwayo. Era baganda baffe be baba basazeewo okukunganya emikono okujjamu obwesigwa mu bakomishona ba parliament nga n'ekigendererwa ekyokubabonereza olw'okukozesa bubi esente z'omuwi w'omusolo ffe ng'ekibiina tukiwagira.
Centenary also highlighted that such actions will set a precedent, compelling others involved in a similar activity to stop.
But today, you find people spending money and arrogantly coming to account to parliament that the money is already spent. Whether you make noise in parliament, we have already spent. Now that discipline must be enforced.
He also cautioned members of parliament against engaging in deceptive tactics.
Naye kansubire nti bagenda kukola ekyewuunyisa ekyamagero tebagenda kukoma ku ekyo kubanga si gwe mulundi ogusoose abantu okukunganya signatures ate ne bikomaawo.
In addition to these concerns, the FDSAS also criticized Finance Planning and Economic Development Minister Matia Kasaija for failure to properly analyze the 72 trillion budget, underscoring the dangers of lack of transparency in handling taxpayers' funds.
The party, we are concerned about the 2024-2025 financial year budget, which has allocated a significant portion of its resources to non-priority areas that may not align with the needs and concerns of the average Ugandan. Spending and inflation caused by the supplementary budgets that have now become a norm in this country has sparked inflation and potentially destabilizing the economy. The biggest cancer we are dealing with in this country is the lack of transparency and accountability. These supplementary budgets have been used to obscure questionable expenses or allocations, and this has reduced transparency and accountability.
As the 2024-2025 budget is expected to be presented to Parliament next month, Centenary hopes that proper measures would help to ensure accountability. Deborah Namamonde, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
The Chief Magistrate's Court in Kabale has set 29th of May 2024 to resume with the case of inciting violence and disobedience of lawful orders against 13 National Unity Platform supporters. The NUP lawyers had submitted a bail application which the state attorney needed time to verify the documents, a move criticized by NUP lawyers. The accused include Sarah Mukisa Muwonge, James Mukama, Peter Kisa, Ivan Wamende, Ngobi Emmanuel, Malagala Jacob, Rama Juma, Holiness Collins, Sempija Vincent, Waswapadi, Julius Balubinze, and Waib Rashid.
And in his response, he claimed that we actually need more documentation to assure him that the accused persons will adhere to the terms of the bail if so granted. So we did a rejoinder. In our opinion, these are bailable offences. All the accused persons have entered the plea of not guilty, and the court is actually fortified by the presumption of innocence. So there is no reason as to why the bail should not be granted. Nevertheless, the magistrate has adjourned the matter up to the day after tomorrow, and we do hope that the day after tomorrow the ruling will come out in favor of the accused persons.
In more news this evening, the movers of the censure motion against 4 parliamentary commissioners have collected beyond half of the required numbers of signatures. Remiaga constituency MP Theodore Sechkubo, who is leading this process, says it's moving amid sabotage from the commissioners and other members of parliament who are demobilizing colleagues not to sign. Take a look.
Members of Parliament are coming in slowly to sign the censure motion. Those that have signed today include Kasanda South MP Kabuye Frank, MP Bukoto East Evans Kanyike, and MP Bobolo Mosila John, among others.
Honorable, thank you so much for mobilizing. Thank you. And especially also mobilizing me. I only came from Bugisu yesterday night for this purpose.
What were days have become months, and nothing has been forthcoming. So that is the reason why we have come here to make such a...
What is really surprising me and really baffling is that we are talking about financial matters, money being shared. But the issues that are being raised by those who are defending the commissioners are about attacking the character of the individuals who move the motion or who are signing.
In my signature, one is to stand with my colleagues, those who have appended their signature and those who have started this initiative, to social solidarity, to stand with our core values.
So we are doing this also to confirm to the movers of this motion that yes, what you're doing is right, and the people of Uganda are behind you. The people that we represent are telling us, please be against corruption.
The head of the motion to have the 4 parliamentary commissioners who gave themselves money in the name of service awards in millions of shillings, Theodore Sechkubo, put a desk in the lobby of Parliament where members interested to participate branch and append signatures.
Half. We are beyond the required number. I may not tell which exact number, because as you are seeing, signatures already coming in. I may not tell, but we are moving on well. In spite of all that, we are...
The process seems not easy as the movers mobilize others, especially the targeted commissioners, demobilize members of Parliament. MP Sechikubo alleges that these have started using dirty methods on social media.
So I requested some of you to help me to post back to say that this is fake. They started it on Twitter, now they brought it on WhatsApp. For me, I'm on WhatsApp. I don't have a Twitter account. But now you can see the data methods they are using. So that the members of Parliament and the general public can have disaffection. It can cause disaffection and demobilize the purpose of the motion.
He expresses disappointment that, again, these commissioners named in their motion are dragging in the Speaker of Parliament, and yet their rules of procedure are different of censoring the Speaker.
Omnibus. It can't be the same as that of commissioners. It involves other procedures like signing before the sergeant at arms, etc., etc. This is not, it is not part of our motion. But we are seeing they are dragging in and drafting in the Speaker of Parliament.
Accordingly, this initiative is being led by members of Parliament of NRM, although one Chinobere is misleading them that the leadership of the party stopped them to participate. Those who are in opposition are shying away from signing.
You have noted, it is largely the NRM members of Parliament who are at the forefront of this. Yes. It is NRM. The opposition are wobbling. They are looking through the windows. They are looking through in the corridors. They run very fast. To say it's bankrolling, to do what? I want any member who has signed to come out, step forward and say that he has been paid to come and sign. None.
The 177 signatures being collected is meant to bring the matter to floor of Parliament to be debated for the 280 MPs to vote. I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji.
Practicing lawyers have been urged to rethink about the alternative dispute resolution while dealing with different cases to curb the increasing number of case backlog in the justice sector. He was addressing the 5th annual Young Lawyers Symposium in Kampala.
With an aim to promote members' professional development and ethical conduct in the legal sector, the Uganda Law Society has held its 5th annual Young Lawyers Symposium to equip young lawyers with skills on how to overcome challenges experienced while in the field of legal practice.
As a result of this, become a good, credible and ethical lawyer. I think you need to learn your trade. I hope I have convinced you on that. I hope you now see the importance of specialization, and I hope you now understand that really the legal landscape for you who have 20, 30 years ahead of you is not going to be the landscape that some of us have gone through. You may think these things are very far away, but I want to convince you that the future is just at the next exit.
This symposium has been attended by over 100 lawyers with 0 to 5 years experience, and they have shared their views regarding this matter.
For companies to have in-house legal teams, or it is riskier for them to operate without them.
The Chief Guest, Justice Geoffrey Chiabwire, urged the lawyers to rethink the alternative dispute resolution mechanism while handling different cases.
And they cook a what? They cook a crime. And it is very, very effective. Small claims procedure, arbitration. All these things are growing now. This is the future.
The President Uganda Law Society highlights on the today's conference.
The objective of the symposium is to share challenges, to learn from each other, to share experiences, to look at the trends in legal practice, to see that we can work together and support our young lawyers to be able to go through the profession. There are so many challenges today. We are talking about mental health, we are talking about the increasing competition, we are talking about technology, we are talking about so many issues which are coming up. And it's important for us as a Uganda Law Society to be able to help our young membership.
He further cited the need to review the education policy by the Ministry of Education to improve the quality of the graduates in all professions.
You know, the quality is not perhaps as it used to be. And I think this is an issue which is important for national debate. It's not just an issue for the legal profession, not only for the doctors, not for the architects. It's an issue, and it revolves around our education system. What are we teaching our children? Do we need to refocus and move away from the fact that you basically have to read and cram for an exam, and there is no analysis involved? Be focusing more on analytical education that helps to be able to build the mental capacity and build the capacity of the generations that are coming after us. And
the 5th annual Young Lawyers Symposium is held on the theme Resilient Minds Innovation Practice, Adapting to the Unfolding Legal Landscape. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Namugongo, UBC News.
Officials from Uganda National Oil Company have failed to explain the provision that allowed them to divert 676 billion shillings meant for EA Cope project to buy treasury instruments during the financial year 2022-2023. The financial officer, UNOC, Emmanuel Mugaga, said this decision was approved by the UNOC board because money was lying idle on the account.
Officials from Uganda National Oil Company were chased from the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament after failing to explain the contradictions in their budget, which indicated that the implementation approved budget was 1.3 trillion shillings and 758 billion was released. Although the Auditor General's report indicated an appropriated budget of 756 billion, the Finance Officer, UNOC, said this included internally generated funds, emphasizing that their budget was 720 billion shillings. Accordingly, their target for revenue collection was 6.9 billion shillings. By end of year, they, however, collected 37 billion, which was an overperformance.
We overshot that because of the Treasury instruments. We utilized we invested in Treasury instruments out of the monies that were given for ECOP in anticipation of the cash calls. So instead of holding the money on account, we invested in Treasury instruments, and that created that 37.6 surplus.
Why did it come as abrupt? At the time of budgeting, why didn't you know you'll get this money, it will not be used? Instead of holding it on account, we shall buy Treasury. And you also estimate how much money it would generate when you buy.
On interrogating this overperformance, the committee discovered that 676 billion shillings for ECOP project was diverted to buy Treasury bills without the approval of Parliament.
If we encourage this and we say UNOC is non-traditional, UNOC is for profit making, Chair, this is what is going to happen. That money to do a project will always be kept like that because there is a profit, quicker profit that will be made on Treasury bills and bonds. Do we have a legal background to that decision?
Sarah Opendi said since they made the disclosure, there is transparency. However, the chair of the committee, Mwanga Chivumbi, asked them to take the committee through the legal processes followed.
At least there is some, transparency and trying to show what they were able to get outside what they originally planned. So I think we would, yes, it looks abnormal, but let's move on.
Money was earned, put in their books, and found out by the auditor. It's in their books, so it's not a disclosure.
It's not a disclosure.
But
the care we need to make as legislators is to navigate, even when you are making profit, how are you anchored in the law? Payment is for specific activity. Because just imagine, what if they incur the loss in that venture?
The Finance Officer UNOC, Emmanuel Mugaga, says Ministry of Finance released $178 million, and when it sits on the account, it becomes idle.
So we went to the board that we have cash on account. Can we fix it for short periods as we wait for the cash calls to come? If a cash call comes sooner than anticipated, we recall the money that is fixed. It stays on account. Instead of being idle, you earn interest on it. It's this.
The chairperson recommended taking the issue to legal officer to assess it and write a legal opinion. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
In more news this evening, the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Majezi, has mandated a comprehensive re-verification of all vendors in Kabale Central Market. The directive was issued during a meeting with discontented vendors at the market located in the Central Division of Kabale Municipality.
Minister Majezi has emphasized the re-verification to confirm the legitimacy of the vendors operating in Kabale Central Market.
Exercise is looking at exactly who are you in terms of your names, your NIN, your residence, your LC1.
Following the verification process, stalls and lockups will be allocated to the actual sitting vendors. So no vendor is permitted to lease out the lockups, thereby acting as landlords within a government-owned facility.
What happens to the sitting tenant if you're looking at the tenants of the old market who were not allocated in this market? The law says they are the priority. And it's actually the emphasis of His Excellency the President.
Kabale District RDC Godfrey Nyakahuma acknowledged the urgency in addressing the situation, noting that he had recently received a letter from vendors threatening to demonstrate due to the minister's delayed visit to Kabale Central Market. In February last year, Minister Majezi formed a special committee to investigate corruption that allegedly marred the registration and relocation of vendors into the newly opened Kabale Central Market. After the special committee's report in July 2023, Minister Majezi ordered fresh vendor relocation process in the market, which had been pending.
The children that represented Uganda at the 2-week VEX World Robotics Championship brought medals, certificates and scholarships at top technology universities in the United States. The children participated against 55 countries in Dallas, USA, and were drawn from schools around Kampala who demonstrated exceptional creativity, problem-solving skills and teamwork through their robotics projects. Take a look.
1 minute and 45 seconds on the clock. Red Alliance side showing you Blaze Robotics Qubit out of Bellevue, Washington.
Ugandan students represented the country at the VEX Robotics World Championship in Dallas, USA, and emerged second in the science category. The students earned scholarships at the top US technology universities, medals, certificates, and national recognition. The founder of Young Engineers Uganda, Arinaitwe Rujindo, told UBC they are rolling out the program in schools to nurture the next generation of scientists.
To focus on inspiring the next generation of scientists, the next generation of Ugandan innovators, the next generation of Ugandan problem solvers, because we know that to address the challenges of our time, to address the issues that bedek the 21st century work, we need to prepare skilled people that appreciate science and technology at a very young age.
We've done so many programs here in the country, and we got an opportunity to showcase our talents at the world stage. So we had to take the children to the VEX Robotics World Championship that happens in the USA every year. We went last year, 2023, and were invited again for 2024. You know, they are creating their career pathways now, so it's encouraging them to take on science courses, science careers, STEM careers. So
the teenagers competed with 88 other teams in the science and technology division, maths, research, design and engineering.
I really learned how to work with other people, cooperation, because you weren't only going to work with your teammates who you had come with, you were going to work with alliances. Like our alliances were made up of 2 teams, so the first team was us, then the other team was another team.
Well, at VEX Robotics, I learned so many things, but the most interesting was programming. So, at school, when I go to school, it's really, easy for me. But before I joined VEX, it would be really hard. I would get, 60s and 70s. But when I joined VEX, it would be really easy. And also, cooperation.
This program is all about designing, programming robots, communicating with each other, strategizing, sharing ideas, and connecting with others.
I built a model of the street sweeper where it sweeps but at the same time vacuums the dust. So therefore we have maybe one person inside the machine driving it and controlling it, and then there's no one on the street, bending, inhaling the dust, getting allergies, sneezing. And I did win an award for that science fair project because it was innovative.
This program has helped me think under pressure, think critically, problem solve, because those are the key aspects which the new curriculum is looking for. So it has helped me with my school life in that way, to go through school better, understand the new curriculum more. In my daily life, obviously, it has exposed me to stuff like mechanics, robotics, which is a very fascinating topic for me.
The VAX Robotics World Championship, hosted at the Kabale Convention Center in Dallas, converged over 2,200 teams from more than 50 countries. The Ugandan team is yet to prepare for another competitions in China. The teenagers are from the Young Engineers Uganda STEM education program.
We have the CMET Marine Robotics competitions, which is going to take place in Tennessee, July. We have the Pan-African Robotics competition. It will take place in Dakar, Senegal in July. We have the Pan-African STEM competitions. It will take place in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. We have the Enjoy AI Robotics competition, and it will take place in China.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Welcome back. And now into the business scene. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, retired Major General David Kasura, has urged district agriculture officers to promote commercial farming. During a training session at the National Farmers Leadership Center, he emphasized the need to sensitize farmers about the value chain to boost Uganda's economy by shifting from subsistence to commercial farming.
Cry to district agriculture officers across the country has been made. It aims at boosting Uganda's economy by transitioning agriculture from subsistence to commercial farming.
Don't go from here and tell people to irrigate 2.5 acres of maize. Tell them to irrigate horticulture, high-value crop on 2.5 acres. So that, yes, they will get what to sell, they will get what to eat, and then live with what to sell.
The Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, retired Major General David Kasura, emphasized focusing efforts on sensitizing farmers about the value chain.
So you must teach our people how to make money. And how do you teach them how to make money? Through the value chain. And the first stage of the value chain is enterprise selection. Correct enterprise selection. With Jura, with Aima, with the Chiparo. That's why the president talks about it.
Kasura was addressing officials at the closure of a 5-day training session held at the National Farmers Leadership Center. The discussion centered on the U-Gift program, underscoring the importance of tailored approaches to address the unique challenges faced by the vulnerable communities.
This program of ours is promoting the adaptation of irrigation equipments by the individual farmers, and also setting up of demonstration sites. That's where where farmers could come and learn what is supposed to be working on their farms, that is to do with the agronomy, to do with the different technologies of irrigation.
NAPAC District Agriculture Officer Godfrey Ochan urged authorities to incorporate the U-Gift program into affirmative action, emphasizing that the majority of vulnerable communities have not embraced the project due to co-funding requirements.
We are finding a problem in co-funding, where we are having our farmers are interested, there are written expressions of interest, but by the time you're asking for the 1 million shillings to Karamojongs, who you know that we are much of us, we are in below the poverty line.
The impasse deepened as the Minister of Agriculture stood firm on the stipulated co-funding guidelines, citing adherence to World Bank protocols.
We follow guidelines from the World Bank. It guides us that the co-funding is, when you want a solar system, you contribute 25%. Then also if you want a motorized system, 75%.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
Yes, we can.
Ugandan creatives are starting businesses out of their craft and transforming their lives and communities. Denim Cartel, a fashion brand, started small 5 years ago, and it's steadily making it big locally and continentally. Take a look.
Troy Elimu is a creative professional and founder of Denim Cartel, an upcycling clothing line that customizes denim to fit their clients' preferences.
Fashion is something that represents us as Africans and our heritage. That's why you'll see on some of my pieces I have coins. I have, let me see if I can get something. This is something that, you see, there's a message right onto it, but also there's a coin that represents Uganda. And the coin speaks to financial literacy, financial independence, just to educate the mass on how money is very important in brands and also just saving.
Like most creatives in Uganda, Denim Cartel, an incubator of Motive, took close to 5 years to break through. Elimu offers a glimpse of the immense business opportunities in Uganda's fashion industry.
We look forward into empowering young people and also just giving young people a glimpse of what not giving up looks like. I started the brand in 2019, and now I just recently opened up a store last year, and that shows you how much patience you have to put in when you're building something big. We do not just look at collaborations as a light thing, because we use it as a learning opportunity as well.
The annual Creative Central Initiative by Motive, a creatives hub located in industrial area, fosters collaboration in different interdisciplinary fields.
The idea is to build spaces and interventions like Creative Central, Motive as a community, to help them realize that, hey, there's a tribe of people like me. I'm not here alone, right? So I would encourage creatives to join Motive, to join other interventions like Motive, and also get into spaces that have interventions that help them gain access to market and also meet people like them.
There is really enough room for creatives to play in the space. It is still a virgin industry, and all we are doing is calling out creatives that are out there. You feel like you're very good at doing something, you're talented at something else. Motive is an environment that is fostering that creativity, bringing your idea to life.
With interventions like access to finances, market and skills, it is possible to transform creative works into sustainable businesses that employ youth and earn significant revenue. Dennis Igoa and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Tanzania Private Sector Foundation is advocating for establishment of no-stop border points to boost regional trade. In an interview with UBC, Raphael Muganga, TPSF's CEO, emphasized the need for Ugandan and Tanzanian authorities to address persistent non-tariff barriers hindering trade.
The Tanzanian Private Sector Foundation Chief Executive highlighted the pivotal role of efficient transport corridors in facilitating cross-border trade, stressing the importance of seamless movement of goods and services. Despite multi-million-dollar investments in border infrastructure, like the one at Mutukula, Maganga noted differing perspectives within the business community.
The aim of the one border stop post, especially on the Mutukula border, the aim was to ensure that goods and people move seamlessly and smoothly, and it should not be impeding to trade. But what we've experienced over the last couple of years, it's still a one more stop to trade. So what we call as private sector, but also for the governments, is to ensure the Mutukula border becomes a no-stop border for our cargo to move across the border. That will increase trade, that will increase free flow of people, and that will be as per the treaty of EAC of increasing regional integration.
Maganga underscored the untapped potential for trade between Uganda and Tanzania through maximal utilization of the multi-modal transport system on the Central Corridor.
And as the private sector, we call for more investment across our borders to make that corridor one of the most efficient corridors for us for trade. Noting that a lot of Ugandans rely on the port of Dar es Salaam to transport their cargo, meaning if we are able to make that corridor very efficient, it will attract a lot of cargo coming that is transiting to Uganda.
The Uganda business community weighed in on the issue of learning Swahili and doing business in the region.
So they want at least to be speaking Swahili, but at least they are trying to change. This is something the government itself has to put in its people. So we have to learn each other.
Tanzania is extremely very unique people. They have learned Swahili very well. There is no single time they will use an English word. They have a word for everything that you will come across in the world in Swahili. And two, they're also very confident. They can know Swahili, but they will not necessarily be able to speak to you, in English, especially the common man on the streets.
A recent East African report on non-tariff barriers highlighted Tanzania and Uganda's leading roles in unresolved barriers, stifling trade growth between the two countries. Despite the enormous potential, trade between Uganda and Tanzania remains stagnant at approximately $400 million per annum.
Non-tariff barriers come in different forms, such as the increase in quotas, delays at the borders, and other areas that really disturb and become very challenging for the business community. So apart from that, we've seen also it's very expensive to travel between our two countries with irregular flights, but also very expensive flights.
The transition from one-stop to no-stop border posts is seen as crucial for enhancing cross-border trade, underscoring the need for collaborative efforts to overcome persistent challenges and unlock the economic benefits of seamless regional trade. Maureen Babidie, Dennis Sigoa, reporting for UBC News.
Oh, I like to know. Stay fresh. You wanna compete? Tell it be my get. Lighting. I did make a lighting up.
Welcome back from that break, and now to the sports scene. The 2024 ITF World Tennis Tour J30 Under 18, hosted by Uganda, has started at Namugongo Tennis Complex in Kampala. The tournament has over 60 players, both boys and girls, from over 10 countries. All players will play knockout matches between the 27th of May to the 9th of June 2024 for the ultimate prize and ranking points. We have more details.
The tournament consists of two legs, the first leg scheduled to take place from May 25th, 2024 to June 1st, 2024. The second leg will run from June 3rd to 9th, 2024. The format aims at providing players who have not previously played in an ITF event with opportunity to compete and earn ITF ranking points.
What happens in this tournament is that the Ugandan players get exposed to other players across the world in their age category. And also it helps because now most of the players who are here get what they call the IP number. The IP number is the ITF recognized number. So when you play such tournaments, you get some seeding. You get some seeding points so that you are recognized in the world as a tennis player. So as we do our junior development program, they must compete at certain levels for them to be recognized around the world.
and that's what we want. That's why we as UTA have made sure that most of our junior players of that level of play are all in the tournament.
In total, we have 60 participants, 60 players. So we have, for the boys, we have in the main draw, we have 32 players, and for the girls, we have 22 players. The format of play is a knockout draw. For the boys, a draw of 32. For the girls, a draw of 24. And the format of play is a best of 3 tiebreak sets.
This year's tournament has attracted a number of young players from over 10 countries, including Uganda, India, USA, Malaysia, and others.
I'm hoping to earn some more points so I can get a ranking from this tournament.
And I look forward to win this ITF. I've done weeks of training for this tournament, like a lot of hard work.
I just expect to get more exposure since I've not been playing many of them.
I expect to play my high performance and to win.
Among the Ugandan participants are Saidi Musa Kato, Dennis Chiyinji, Hilda Afoyoroth, Abigail Nabisinga, Maggie Namaganda, Marvin Lukwago, and others. The 2024 ITF World Tennis Tour J30 Under 18 is hosted by Uganda and will be played at the Lugogo Tennis Complex in Kampala. Players will play knockout matches both in the single and double matches. Grace Joyce, Kemigisa, UBC News.
And with that, UBC News Tonight comes to an end. Thank you so much for your company. We do bid you farewell and good night. I'm Lorraine Masika Kazimoto and Elizabeth Nakakoni on Sign Language.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.